Hello students, welcome back. So in this session, I'm going to be covering percentage and percentile. So what's a percentage? Well, it's just a number. Percentage is just a number out of 100. That's what it tells you. So for example, if you score 90% on a test, it basically means that you got 90 marks out of 100 marks. Okay, that's one way of looking at it. Another way would be you can say that you scored 9 out of 10, or you can say you scored 18 out of 20, or 180 out of 200, and so on and so forth. So all these statements, they essentially means that you scored 90% on your test. Okay, all these things, all these little statements right here, they all basically means that you scored 90%. Percentile. So percentile is a value below which a certain percentage of the data falls. So it's a value below. So the keyword is below. And it shows the relative standing of your value within your data set. So if let's say your score, okay, you are in the 90th percentile of a test, what does it mean? Well, it means that you scored better than 90% of the people who took it. Or another way of saying this thing is this, that you can say that 90% of the students are below your score. Okay, that's what it means. So 90% of students, they scored below you. Now let's try to understand this through an example. So let's say you have 10 students in a class, okay, and they took a test, and you got the following scores out of 200. You got 90, 60, 180, 170, 120. These are the scores of 10 students in your class. So now the question is, calculate the percentage and percentile of the student who scored 120. So there is a student who scored 120, which is this one right here, and you have to calculate his percentage and his percentile. So let's do the percentage first. Well, the test is out of 200, right? They told you the test is out of 200, and the student scored 120. So his percentage would be 120 divided by 200 multiplied by 100, and the answer is 60%. So he scored 60%. Now let's try to calculate percentile. Well, two-step is a two-step process. The first step is first you want to arrange your numbers in ascending order. All right, I did that. Arrange my numbers in ascending order. Now you count how many scores are less than 120. Okay, so this is what you try to calculate the percentile of this student. So you count how many people scored below that. Okay, in this case you have 30, 60, 90, 100. Okay, these numbers, these people, they scored less than 120. And how many are there? Well, there are 4 students. So what is the percentage of people or percentage of students who scored below 120? Well, the answer is 4 divided by 10, and you multiply by 100, right? Because you got 10 students, so that's why you're dividing by 10, and you got 4 students scoring below 120. So it's going to be 4 divided by 10 multiplied by 100 is 40. So his percentile is 40th percentile. Even if the student, okay, even if his score, his percentage is 60%, right? The student scored 60%, all right, but his percentile is 40th. So it depends. Basically, percentile depends on how other people perform. So in this particular instance, the better performing students, people who actually are students who performed better than him, they pushed his percentile down. So you can see this through an example, right? This is the graph, okay? So over here, you can see one student actually scored 30, okay? Another student scored 60. Then you have students scoring 90 right there, okay? Then you have students scoring 120, 100 right here, okay? And then you have 120 and 140. So because these people, like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, these students, they score a lot better than this gentleman right here. And because they scored more than him, his percentile went down. So in this case, percentile would refer to how many people scored below him. And look at it, how many people? You have one, two, three, four. 4 people scored below him. And so that would mean that his percentile is 40th. Let's take a look at another example. Let's say you have 10 students and who took a test, and this is the score they get out of 200. So these are the scores that students get out of 200. Now calculate the 30th percentile. So somebody tells you that these are the scores, and they want you to find out where does the 30th percentile lie in this case. Well, the step is this. First, you want to arrange in ascending order. I did this. I arranged the numbers in ascending order, okay, from the least number to maximum number over here. Then you calculate your rank, calculate your position. So the position, the formula for the position is this right here. Okay? This is your formula you use to calculate your position. Your P in this case is your percentile that you want. In this case, is my P is 30. That's what I want. And N is the number of data points. How many points you got? Well, in this case, I have 10, right? 10 data points. Then you calculate your rank. So you substituting my P and N in there, I get my answer is 3.3. So The 30th percentile in this case lies at the 3.3rd position in the order list. So this would be 3.3rd position. Well, this is position 1, okay? This is position 2, and this is position 3, and this is position 4. So 3.3 position would be somewhere in between these two numbers, right? It will be somewhere in between these two. So let's calculate that. Well, if this number, by the way, on a side note, if this number would have been come out to be even, let's say 3, 4, 5, then it would have been easy to actually just look over here and tell you where exactly that number is. But in this case, it's a decimal part, so we're going to be doing interpolation now. So let's do interpolation. In this case, the rank is 3.3, right? So that means 30th percentile lies between your third and fourth value. So it's going to lie between third and fourth value right here. Okay, it's going to be somewhere in between. Well, my third value is 90, my fourth value is 100. Now we interpolate between these two. So this is my 30th percentile formula. I'm taking my 90 plus 0.3. 0.3 is the difference between your 3 and 4. Okay, so 3 and 3.3 is 0.3, and 100 minus 90, and I substitute my formula. The answer comes out to be 93. Now, all these concepts are explained on the next slide, so I'll show you in a minute how I did this thing. Okay, so what I'm doing basically, these are my scores, right? 3 comma 90. So these are my positions right here, and these are the scores. So this is 3 comma 90, and this right here is my 4 comma 100. So these are my positions, right? 3 comma 90 and 4 comma 100. All right, and this is 3.3 right there. So this is my third position. This is my fourth position, and this is my third 3.3 position. And my y1 is 90, right? This is my score right here, 90. And my y2, this one right here, is basically 100. And you have to calculate this score right here. You have to calculate what is the score. This position you know is 3.3. Well, if you remember from your high school, first you calculate your slope. So my slope in this case is going to be this right here, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So my x1 is this one, okay, 3. Y1 is 90. My x2 in this case is 4. And my y2 is 100. So my slope comes out to be 10. So once you know your slope of this line, okay, you know the slope. Once you know your slope, right? And then you can calculate any corresponding y value on this line as long as you know your x. Well, I know my x right here. My x is 3.3. So the formula that you use is this right here. So this is the formula that calculates, okay, any value of y for a given value of x. Well, I know my y1, okay, plus x minus x1 times slope. So in this case, it's going to become 90. My y1 is 90, right? This one 90 plus x minus x1. Well, x minus x1 is the distance from here to here. That's my x minus x1. In this case, is 0.3 multiply by slope, which is 10 and 10. And the answer comes out to be 93. And this is how I come with this interpolation formula right there. That's what that is. All right. So my 30th position, 30th percentile is 93. Interpretation, 30% of the students, okay, 30% of the students, they scored below 93. That's what it means.